If you find yourself, you keep repeating the same thing that brings on the feeling and the energy of regret, trust me, you're not doing it because you just love suffering. You're doing it because deep down inside of you, you believe that this still serves you or that it ever served you. Let's get into it. Welcome to Empress Expressions. My name is Amber, and I welcome you whether you're new or you're returning. I welcome you. Today, this is part 2. So I've already uploaded a piece of content about regret and just kind of 3 ways that you can release the regret and move forward. So this is part 2. This is where I want to touch on, when you find yourself doing the same thing over and over and over, and you keep experiencing regret over and over and over, it's like a loop that you cannot seem to break. I just want to speak on how there's something deep down inside of you. There's something there in your subconscious. There's some kind of belief that has you convinced that this thing serves you, and that's why it's on repeat in your life. So let's go. So here's the thing. We are wired to believe what serves us. So we will end up self-sabotaging ourselves in a sense of self-protection. So what I mean by that is we will do things habitually because we believe that in some way or another, it's protecting us. And in all reality, it's self-sabotaging. For example, let's see, I recall throughout my life, I have found myself like attracting certain situations or people that are not available, right? Not available. And what would end up happening is I would end up in these situations where I felt rejected or I felt abandoned. And when I really started to sit with that, because there got to a point in my life where I was like, this is on repeat and this can't be on repeat anymore because I am not going to sign up for this anymore. And so when I really got to the point of like being fed up with it and just, really taking control, and not even a control, but taking accountability for my life, taking accountability for my connections and for my manifestations, and realizing, oh wow, like, nobody's doing anything to me. These are my mirrors, and what's being mirrored back to me is what's within me. So based off of some things that happened in my younger years, in my childhood, there was something that I built up inside of me that was a layer or an armor of self-protection. But what I was doing was I was creating and projecting people out into my experience that would already carry that energy, right? Because I was already rejecting myself and I was already abandoning myself. So what would happen is I would create these experiences, create these connections, and that would happen because I thought I was protecting myself. But in all reality, I was unavailable. I was unavailable for my truth, right? I wasn't standing in my truth. I wasn't being real with myself. And I was seeing that being reflected to me. So that was a regret loop that I had going, like regretting, like, dang, I should have never connected with this person, or I should have never did that thing, or I shouldn't have went that place, or I shouldn't have, whatever, just constantly going, not even in the background, but in the forefront of my life, this pattern of regret. And it really all had to do with me self-sabotaging because I thought that I was protecting myself. I thought I was being safe. I thought this serves me to protect myself and in so many ways not trust myself. So we are wired in ways, but we can, and in that wiring are many ways that we can navigate that, right? We can still protect ourselves, but you protect yourself from being in your truth. not from hiding and running from your truth, because what's going to happen is you're going to continuously manifest the same stuff, people and situations, just in different masks and in different situations over and over and over again until you see yourself, because everything outside of you is a reflection of you inside. And if you start seeing things that you don't like on the outside of you, that is a strong indicator that there is something within you that needs to be addressed. So I just want to share that, because it's like we really do set ourselves up without even realizing that we're setting ourselves up for evolution, for evolving, right? Not even evolution, but for evolving, for growing. The soul wants to grow. And so when you see these patterns showing up in your life over and over and over again, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I missing here? Especially if they're patterns that you do not like, what am I missing here? So this brings me to my next thing, is your job is to get curious, not be ashamed, right? Get curious. And I'm telling you, sometimes we get so wrapped up in like, I don't like this and I don't like that person and life is against me. No, life is mirroring you. Life is showing you you. So get curious when things are not going your way. Get curious. Ask the questions, what do I believe that I'm getting out of this? Am I getting safety? Am I getting control? Am I getting care? Like, what do I believe that I'm getting out of this? Because the reason it's showing up is because you are naturally wired to believe what you believe, and then to create off of what you believe, right? You are not naturally wired to suffer. You're not. So get curious about what your world is showing you, so that you can release the regret, so you can really release it and close the loop. Because if regret is steadily showing up in your life, it's like there's a belief there that has that pattern on repeat. And honestly, once you become aware of the pattern, it's no longer a pattern. Now it's just a habit, and you're choosing to do it over and over and over again. And like I always say, it is your divine responsibility to create your life and to tap into your awareness and to understand your world. Okay? So get curious about yourself. Ask yourself, why? Why do I believe this serves me? So after you become curious, then the transformation begins, because I promise you, you're powerful. You're powerful beyond measure. It's not measurable. But as soon as you get curious, as soon as you start asking yourself those questions, transformation is going to begin, because you have no other choice than to show yourself the answers. Ask and you shall receive, okay? Ask and you shall receive, baby. The transformation begins after you get curious. That's where you get to start choosing differently. Once you start to identify the false benefits, right? Because regret on a loop is a false belief in benefits, okay? Regret on a loop is a false belief in benefits. Once you identify those false beliefs and benefits, you get to let it go. You get to choose to let it go. You get to just, I choose to let this go. I don't believe this false benefit anymore. This is not serving me. I feel like shit, you know? I feel like crap. I'm done being in regret. Nobody wants to be in regret, right? Nobody. So you get to choose differently as soon as you identify. And I promise you, you will identify. If you get curious, you're going to identify what you believe is there that's actually serving you. Is it the attention, the control, the love, right? Whatever that is that you feel like, the protection, the safety, whatever you feel like is there that has you in this perpetual loop of regret. Once you identify it, your transformation begins. So, like I said, this is part 2 of the whole regret content here that I put out. And this all stemmed from me looking in a journal and reading over some past regrets that I have. And I had to ask myself, I don't have those regrets anymore. I've completely released them and I've moved forward. And there was a point in time where those regrets were heavy. Like, I would think of them and I would just feel heavy. I would feel like I had just like sunk into myself, and I hated that feeling. And I would think to myself, like, I can't live like this, right? I can't continue everyday life and regret this. This is heavy shit that I had to let go. And so this content, these 2 videos are inspired by me and through me because I was able to sit down with myself and figure out how the hell I released that regret. And then it's beautiful because things always come as they should. They always come together. I created the workbook, Releasing Obligations. So if you're working through releasing, old versions of yourself, releasing regrets, all of that, the Releasing Obligations workbook is perfect for that. Literally perfect. In-depth, soul-led questions. Okay, where you get to dig in and you get to understand. You get to truly understand like where the root of some of this shit even started. And it's your responsibility to do this anyway. So if you're willing and ready and courageous enough to take accountability for your life and to take on this responsibility of getting to the root of your shit, so that you can have the type of life that you want, so that you can know that you are loved, that you are safe, that you can give yourself the attention that you may be seeking. Whatever that is, tap into that workbook. It's $20. The link is in the description box below. Get into it. And then of course, if this content, if this video touched you, I want you to subscribe to the channel because I will give more transmissions and more insight and guidance to those that resonate with me and what I share. Like the video as well if you are vibing with me and my energy, and share this with someone that you love. All right, so that is what I have for you, and I send you so much love, so much light, so much peace, and so much alignment on your journey. And until next time, peace.